the rule of Shewa, there will be certain contexts where at the beginning of a word you will be tempted to find yourself writing two shewas, both of which would be sounded because a shewa at the beginning of a word is automatically sounded, and the second of two consecutive shewas is sounded. Now, Hebrew can't tolerate two consecutive sounded shewas, and so the simple rule of Shewa is that the first shewa becomes a chirik. Let's see an example of this. If we want to say for a covenant, le brit, then when we put it together, look, we would have two sounded shewas, le vrit. So quite simply, the first one changes to a chirik, livrit, for a covenant. A slight tweak on that. What if your word starts with a chatef patach? Well, again, pretty simple. These would still be two sounded shewas. In this case, though, instead of the first shewa becoming a chirik, it takes on the flavor of the chatef that comes after it, in this case a patach. So we would end up with an a followed by a chatef patach. So for example, if I wanted to say for work, avodah is the word work, avodah. If I say for work, then I want to put the le prefix in place, le avodah, and quite simply that would become la avodah, for work, la avodah. Now, if I wanted to say for the work, then you would have to remember that before an ayin, the definite article is not patach, as here, but kametz. So for work is la avodah because of the rule of Shewa, but for the work would be la avodah with a kametz here, the T-shaped vowel, la avodah. So you can still distinguish between for work and for the work. Finally, there is one more context which we will meet this week, where it's the other way around. You have a chatef patach followed by a sounded shewa, and in that case, quite simply, the chatef becomes a full vowel, and we'll see examples of that in our lessons this week. So that is the rule of Shewa. Two sounded shewas at the beginning of a word become chirik or patach, or whatever the flavor of the chatef vowel happens to be.